I ranked the six powerful and latest AI image generating models: GPT Image 2, NanoBanana 2, NanoBanana Pro, Recraft V4, WAN 2.7, and Grok Imagine. I gave six prompts in different categories to each model to see which one is the best. This is the comparison I always wanted to do. This is the only AI image generating models comparison video you need to watch to decide which latest model you should use to generate AI images. I divided these six new AI image generating models into four main categories. The models that perform best on each prompt will be placed in the S tier. The second best model will be ranked in the A tier. The average models will be placed in tier B, and the worst performing model will be ranked in F tier. Let's start the comparison. Here is the prompt number 1. I asked in this prompt to generate a vintage scientific field journal page about a Galapagos lava lizard. Same prompt, 6 different models. Let's see who cooked and who flopped. Let's look at the GPT Image 2 result. It's the most polished and detailed image. The handwriting is consistent and fully legible. The scientific illustration is highly accurate with clean anatomical labels. The crevice cross-section diagram is precise with real measurement, and the environmental data table is perfectly rendered. The Polaroid photo, pressed fern, and coffee stain all feel naturalistic. This is exceptional prompt following. Let's put it in solid S tier. This image is generated by NanoBanana 2. It has strong aesthetic, good vintage notebook feel, solid lizard illustration with clear anatomical annotations. However, a significant chunk of the body text degrades into incoherent gibberish. For example, look at this sentence. Overall, habitat quality seems out of uppies with as poor and feeling and ring or blast acid, and the observation table is mostly left blank. Text coherence is a major weakness. Let's put it in solid B tier. Reason is good visuals, but body text collapses mid-page. This image is generated by Grok Imagine. The layout is clean and believable. The lizard sketch and crevice diagrams are decent, and the final note plus signature feel authentic. But the main body text opens with completely garbled nonsense. For example, Microlophus albermanus of Biguid Damru, and some activity table entries contain made-up words. Boponoid bestudi. It has mixed quality. Let's put it in B tier as well. The reason is solid aesthetic and structure, fine visually but unreliable texts. This image is generated by NanoBanana Pro. Excellent lizard illustration with good coloration detail. Red throat patch. The behavior observation table is clean and fully readable. And the geological cross-section is well executed. Text partially degrades into word salad in the middle paragraphs, but the structured elements, table, diagram labels, intro, and final sentences hold up well. This goes straight into A tier. Reason is beautiful illustration and a clean observation table, where the descriptive paragraphs partially break down into word salad. This image is generated by Recraft V4. The lizard illustration is visually striking and detailed. The raw crevice cross-section sketch is good. Possible symbiotic relationship node is a nice touch. However, almost all of the main body text is completely unreadable. The data table has nonsensical value. Temperature 154 DC, humidity 10.005, and the species label Lauceliporus tigris is scientifically wrong for a Galapagos lava lizard entry. Heavy text failure can be seen here. This goes straight into F tier. The illustrations are actually quite good, strong art, but nearly all text unreadable and garbage. Even it's labeled the wrong species entirely. This image is generated by WAN 2.7. The lizard illustration is visually strong and the rock crevice diagram is geometrically clean with temperature labels. Every piece of text, the species, name, annotations, table headers, body text, and final note is pure nonsense. It's the worst in terms of text coherence, only the visuals partially save it. Solid F tier because good illustration only, but every text element is nonsense. This is prompt 2. This time the models had to generate a sports player poster, you know the style. Dramatic face, close-up, red brush strokes, player card into it, the button, club badge, brand logo, so it can verify FIFA Ultimate Team energy. Let's see who passed and who got relegated. Let's look at the GPT Image 2. This one is straight up clean, real photo of Mohamed Salah, Liverpool badge is accurate. Nike swoosh is crisp. The number 11 is bold. The nameplate reads Mohamed Salah / Liverpool Football Club perfectly, and there's even a legit looking signature. The brushstroke composition is balanced. This is what the prompt was supposed to look like. Let's put it in solid S tier due to accurate badge, clean text, and great composition. This image is generated by NanoBanana 2. Visually, this is actually stunning. The wide cinematic layout with the blurred side panel is super creative. The brushwork is dynamic. The problem is wrong badge and wrong name, also wrong club. Looks incredible, makes zero sense. Let's put it in solid B tier. This image is generated by Grok Imagine. The face render here is genuinely impressive. Hyper realistic, great lighting, dramatic red black atmosphere. But then you look at this name card and it says Call Jane Sago, Club, Gorekal. Gorekal, the visual quality is top tier, but the text absolutely cooked itself. Such a waste. Let's go straight into F tier. Incredible render, text is complete nonsense. Let's look at the NanoBanana Pro result. This one has a nice poster within a poster presentation style that's different from the rest. The brushwork has both red and blue, which adds variety. It's clean structure and the layout is intentional. The name card says J.do/FC Crimson, which is clearly placeholder text, but at least it's readable and makes internal sense. Not winning any creativity awards, but it's competent. Let's put it into A tier. This image is generated by Recraft V4. It has solid composition, great dramatic lighting on the face. The number 18 on the small player figure is a nice detail, and Anthony Joseph / Manchester United is a fully readable name card. The branding choices are a little off. Adidas logo, but Liverpool looking kit colors, MUFC text and blue, but as a standalone poster it actually holds together. Respectable outcome. Same A tier because it's readable due to readable name card, solid composition, but minor kit mismatch. Let's look at the WAN 2.7 results. The grayscale face with color accents is a genuinely cool artistic choice that no other model tried. The brushstroke composition is clean and modern, but then it falls apart. The badge says Chelsea/Cood Phone. That's supposed to be Chelsea. The name is Namare Cub Shones, and the jersey number is 70, which isn't a real football squad number. Straight F tier, creative grayscale style, but badge, name, and number all wrong. Okay, this is round 3, and this time the prompt was a product advertisement sheet for Uns & Co., an organic food brand with 3 products: a cold pressed green juice, an almond butter crunch protein bar, and an organic trail mix. We are judging on product accuracy, text coherence, layout quality, and how believable it looks as an actual ad. Here is the GPT Image 2 result. This is a full product catalog and it's cooked to perfection. Accurate product names, real looking nutrition facts with actual sensible numbers, proper certifications, USDA organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, 1% for the planet. Front, side, back product views, real media quotes from Women's Health, Healthline, and Mind Body Green. A clear bundle price of $39.99 and the website URL. This could genuinely run as an ad. This could genuinely run as a real ad. Nothing is made up. Absolute S tier. Here is the NanoBanana 2 result. The layout is creative and the product renders look really good. Nutrition facts panels on the back views are a nice touch, but zoom into the details and it starts falling apart. No more butter, hemi-sugars, under no added sugars, under plant power, and the pricing range of $1.5 to $250 is absolutely wild. No product costs $250. The fake testimonial quotes also say deliciously retail. What the hell? Which is another word. Solid B tier. Great bones, but broken copy. Let's look at the Grok Imagine result. Clean aesthetic, love the botanical illustration border, and the headline font is great. But the body copy under the feature columns is where it completely. Let's read the words. Påsk, Jon, Ronst, Bors, under low sugar and Hemoin, Karme, Pelte, and under high fiber that is pure nonsense. Also, one of the certifications pages literally says fiber on it twice. B tier barely. The features, descriptions, looks great, reads bad. Here is the NanoBanana Pro results. This one is seriously impressive. 2-panel layout, individual product pricing 4.99, 3.49, 8.99. Readable ingredient list, nutrition facts that make sense. Quotes from Vogue and Forbes, and the Why Unsent Co. Organic integrity breakdown is clean and coherent. Some very minor text question on the nutrition labels, but nothing that breaks the illusion. This is a legitimate A-tier output because readable ingredients, coherent feature breakdown. Here is the Recraft V4 result. Clean, minimal, looks premium. Product names are correct. The brand logo is consistent across all three products. Pricing is listed clearly and the certifications are readable. The product descriptions are mostly coherent too. The main issues are small, clean ingredients is clearly a text glitch, and the side panel product images have a weird and typo. But as a clean modern ad, it works. This is strong A tier due to consistent branding, mostly coherent copy, minor text mistakes only. Look at the WAN 2.7 result. The layout conception is fine. The can render is actually good, but everything else. The second product is a jar of peanut butter. That's not even one of the three products in the prompt. The nutrition facts are labeled additions instead of nutrition facts. The website is weird, the testimonials are completely incoherent, and the certification says SWWCO. What the hell? This is the most factually broken entry of the batch. Strong F tier because it generated peanut butter instead of protein bar, wrong facts, and wrong text. Also wrong website. Okay, this is round 4 and this one is a completely different challenge from everything we have done before. No text to render, no logos to get right. This prompt was pure photorealism. Generate a close-up portrait of a woman with green eyes, natural skin, no makeup. This is where the models have nowhere to hide. Let's talk about it. Some of the models produced images that I could not tell if they were AI or someone's real gallery picture. Let's look at the GPT Image 2 result. Okay, this is actually stunning. The skin texture is insane. The green eyes have that real iris detail with the hazel rings. The bokeh background is natural and the lighting is soft and directional like an actual photographer set it up. The only thing that gives it away is AI is almost too perfect. The symmetry, the pore distribution, everything is just slightly too dialed in. But as a portrait, that slaps. This goes into S tier. Here is the NanoBanana 2 result. Natural lighting from a window, realistic skin with visible pores and slight unevenness. Genuine looking imperfections. It's less dramatic than GPT Image 2 result, but it passes the as a real person test. Good B tier because it's authentic but less detailed than the top tier models. Let's look at the Grok Imagine result. Clean, beautiful, very editorial. The soft window light is gorgeous. The skin looks smooth and real, and the face structure is good. Where it falls short is it looks a little too much like stock Voodoo AI. The skin is slightly over smooth, and the eyes, while pretty, don't have the same depth as GPT Image 2. Still really solid though. Clean and beautiful, but skin slightly over smooth. Strong A tier. Let's look at the NanoBanana Pro result. This one generally looks like a real Voodoo. The skin is blotchy and flushed in a completely natural way. The eyes are slightly uneven like a real person's. The hair looks like someone just threw it back before sitting down. There is zero AI polish to this, which is either the model being brilliant at realism or just not trying to impress you. Either way, it looks incredibly authentic. A tier due to flushed skin, natural asymmetry passes the real Voodoo test. Here is the Recraft V4 result. The detail on this one is wild, even better than GPT Image 2. Visible freckles, real skin texture. The nose has actual three-dimensional form, and those blue-green eyes are genuinely stunning. The window light casting that hard shadow across the nose is a real photography move that adds a ton of realism. The slight asymmetry in the face makes it feel more human. This is a legit competition for GPT Image 2. Due to natural asymmetry, stunning eye detail, feels like a real photo shoot. This is solid S tier. Let's look at the WAN 2.7 results. Technically fine, but this is where it drops off. The skin texture is okay, but there is an uncanny valley thing happening with the forehead area. The pores are rendered in a weirdly uniform pattern that reads as AI immediately. The eyes are two noticeably different colors, one brown and one green, which could be intentional heterochromia, but it feels more like a rendering inconsistency. It's not bad, just the weakest of the bunch. Technically okay, but uncanny valley for it and inconsistent eye color. B tier. Looks like we have no one in F tier. All models did their best. This is round 5 and the prompt leveled up. This time it's a street style fashion portrait woman with curly auburn hair, blue eyeliner, orange lips, yellow blazer, pink top, layered gold necklace, graffiti wall background. Then the last prompt. More details to get right means more ways to fail. Here is the GPT Image to result. The golden hour lighting on this one is chef's kiss. The warm sun hitting the curly hair creates the stunning halo effect. The blue eyeliner is crisp and clean. The layered necklaces are detailed and accurate. And the graffiti alley background adds genuine street photography energy. The color palette pops exactly like a fashion editorial should. This looks like a real shoot. S tier, no question. Here is the NanoBanana 2 result. This one is seriously competitive. The bokeh on the background is supernatural. There are real people walking in the distance, which adds massive authenticity. The blue eyeliner and layered necklaces are all there. The curly hair has great volume of natural movement. It's slightly less dramatic than GPT Image 2. The lighting is more overcast and less golden, but it's a realistic street style photo. This is generally elite, S tier as well. Let's look at the Grok Imagine result. Technically solid, everything is present and correct, but zoom in on the graffiti wall and it says urban soul and vibe, repeated multiple times in a very clean, obviously generated text. It looks like a fake background rather than real street art. The blazer also reads more neon yellow than the golden yellow of the other entries, which is a vibe difference. The face is slightly too smooth and symmetrical, giving it a digital feel. Looks generated, not real. B tier. Here is the NanoBanana Pro result. Warm golden light, good hair volume, blue eyeliner on point, layered necklaces with the coin pendantly visible, authentic looking graffiti wall. The face has a natural slightly looking away gaze that feels candid and real. Where it drops just slightly below GPT Image 2 and NanoBanana 2 is the background feels a little less detailed. The graffiti is blurrier and generic, but overall this is a really strong output. A tier. Here is the Recraft V4 result. Look, the hair on this one is absolutely insane volume wise, and the blue eyeliner and the silver glitter shadow combo is a creative swing, but the individual curls look almost spring-like and unnaturally uniform at the tips. The AI basically drew cartoon spirals on a human head. The hair color is also much more saturated red than auburn, which misses the tone of the brief. The overall image still has energy though, so it's not a disaster. Let's go straight into B tier. Here's the WAN 2.7 result. Clean, well lit, every detail hit. Blue eyeliner, pink top under the blazer, gold chain necklaces, curly auburn hair, graffiti bricks. The composition is more centered and straightforward compared to the top tier. In the background, graffiti is readable but a bit soft. The expression is warm and natural, no major failures. It just plays it safe rather than going for drama. Solid A tier. Here is the prompt number 6, and this is last round. And this prompt is the most artistic one we have tested yet. A woman in a white dress running throughout a windswept field of pink flowers and golden grass under a deep blue sky, motion blur included. This is pure cinematic photography territory. There are no text, logos, and products, just vibes, composition, and storytelling. Let's see who wins. Here's the GPT Image 2 result. This is a straight up masterpiece. The low angle looking up the hill is a creative composition choice that makes the scene feel massive and dramatic. The motion blur on the figure and hair is exactly right directional, not smeared. The golden grass catching the wind, the scattered pink wind flowers, the deep cobalt blue sky, every element is in harmony. The dress flows like fabric actually moves. This is the kind of shot that would end up in a perfume commercial. Perfect directional blur, flowing dress, deep blue sky. Solid S tier. Let's look at the NanoBanana 2 results. The flower coverage on this one is insane. The foreground is absolutely packed with lush pink blooms and it creates this incredible layer depth. The motion blur on the grass rippling in the wind is one of the most convincing physics simulation of any entry. The figure is slightly small in frame, but that just adds to the epic sense of scale. Really beautiful cinematic composition, strong A tier. Here is the Grok Imagine result. Gorgeous detail scene with beautiful render poppies in the foreground and sweeping grass hill that feels like a painting. But here's the issue. The motion blur on the figure looks artificial. She's got this hard-growing, glowing white edge around her body that looks less like camera motion blurred and more like a footage shoot eraser accident. The rest of the scene is stunning, but that figure rendering breaks the immersion. A tier docked for the ghosting effect. Here is the NanoBanana Pro result. Incredibly natural and grounded. The worm's eye view looking up through the pink poppies is a phenomenal composition choice. It makes you feel like you're lying in the field. The motion blur is controlled and realistic. The dress billows naturally, and the warm golden light on everything feels like late afternoon shot on film. S tier because film like warmth, natural motion blur, stunning low angle composition. Let's look at the Recraft V4 result. Okay, this one went completely off script in the most interesting way. The fisheye lens distortion, the radical upward angle, the swirling blur radiating outward from the figure. This feels like a photograph and more like an album cover. It's genuinely creative and the energy is wild, but it's so far from realistic field photography that is almost a different prompt. Flowers looks like cherry blossom on a branch rather than wildflowers in a field. B tier because massive creative swing but off brief landing. Here is the WAN 2.7 results. Grass texture and the flower clusters in this one are actually really beautiful up close, but the figure has completely lost the white dress. She appears to be wearing different dress, I think, which is a significant miss on the brief. The figure is also tiny and oddly posed, almost crouching rather than running. The left edge of the frame has a weird gray gradient that looks like a rendering artifact. The environmental elements are solid, but the subject lost the white dress entirely. Figure is crouching, not running. Gray edge, glitch, solid F tier. That's a wrap, guys. 6 prompts, 6 models. And honestly, the results were way more spread out than I expected going into this. So what does all of this actually tell us? It tells us that the gap between these models isn't really about arts. The gap is about comprehension. Does the model actually understand what you asked for? Or is it just vibing in the right direction and hoping you don't zoom in? If you're a creator, a designer, or just someone experimenting with these tools, the number one thing you should take away from this video is never judge an AI output by the thumbnail. Zoom in on the text, check the logos, read the labels, because I promise you at least one of these models will have written some weird funny spellings in words and expected you to not notice. That is it for today. If you found this useful, helpful, or just entertaining, hit that like button. It genuinely helps the channel more than you know. Subscribe if you haven't already because we have got way more of these comparison videos. Drop a comment below telling me which model you think won overall across all 6 rounds. I'm genuinely curious what you guys think, and if there is a specific prompt category you want me to test next, put it down there too. I read every single one. I will see you in the next one. Peace and thank you.